with our model, with our electric motors. And we're actually going to use a hybrid model. So, where does the power come from to power these electric motors? We're probably going to put a diesel motor on these machines, run 100% biodiesel through them, and power our electric motors that way. So a hybrid model. In terms of support for farmers, once autonomy is in the field, is going to be like really critical. We don't have this figured out. We have some ideas on what we want to do to help out in terms of supporting, but we're pretty much convinced that there's a lot of folks, the channel folks, dealers, etc., that are going to have to be involved in supporting these machines. And then I mentioned briefly what the role of machine learning. Again, machine learning is going to be really critical. We think it's going to be important for navigation and for monitoring these machines in the field. And then obviously there's the agronomic side of things as well, where machine learning plays a role. So about an hour ago, I saw an article come through that Google has now just created a machine learning focused ag business. So if anybody's heard about that, I'd like to learn a little more about that. So just to wrap up, so this is actually the first field we planted last spring. This is in Boone County, Iowa, close to our office. I tell people it was the best looking soybean field in Boone County all year. It was probably one of the first planted fields. We were very wet last year in the spring, and we actually didn't get started planting until the middle of May. But this field, 85 years ago, this field was planted with a team of horses, and ever since then it's been planted with a tractor and a planter. But this year it was planted without a tractor, which is kind of a cool thing. But it yielded about 65 bushel the acre, which we were actually happy with given the kind of weather we had. This field had 13 inches of rain in the 2 weeks after we planted it, and then it just shut off. So it was kind of a strange year, but it turned out good. So, our vision is small, lightweight, electric, autonomous, but you guys are the ones that are ultimately going to determine what the direction of autonomy is. So, appreciate being here today, and I'll take questions when we're done here. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dave. All right, finally we're going to have John introduce us to the weed seed destroyer. Go ahead, John.
Yes, well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for giving me the chance to introduce our product here. What we're going to do is we're going to take the chaff that comes out of the back of the combine, we're going to expose it to some light that it doesn't naturally see, and then the seeds that are in it are going to get damaged. They're not going to be mutated, but they're going to be damaged. And so what happens is this seed, when it goes in the spring and goes into the soil, goes into spring, it's going to in water, it's going to split, and it's never going to grow. And so the wavelengths that we're talking about are these. This is a scan of the spectrum across the light that you see from the sun. We're going to hit it with this blue light, and we're also going to use this mid-IR. This mid-IR is going to do some funny things to the seed. It's going to waken the seed up in a very short period of time, and then we're going to hit it with this high-intensity amount of blue light. So the amount of blue light we give it is like 30 times what it would see in the sunlight. All this is going to happen within a second and a half. And so, flying through the combine, it gets hit with this mid-IR, the seed awakens, and we hit it with the blue light, and then we damage some of the cells that regulate the reticle growth, and then the seed, though it's still respirating, living, won't grow. And we did some, we had different universities we've been working with. We've worked with Ohio State University, Louisiana State University. We're doing some stuff with Texas A&M, Central State University, and now the University of Idaho. What's funny is once we got the first person interested in what we were doing, we're getting calls from everybody now, because this is something that's really unique and has not been done. And so we're able to On pigweed seeds, in that second and a half, we're able to make 99% of them non-viable. Central State did 8 weed seeds. We had 97 to 99%. Overall, we've got 22 weed seeds that we've been hitting in this test, and we're at 95% efficacy. And so what we're going to do is grab the chaff out of the sieve section out the back of your combine, and then run it through this, or get it to collect into this hopper, where then it's going to go back through an auger. In the auger, we're going to see we're going to have the sections where this mid-IR and this blue are treating that chaff. And then at the very end, we're just going to blow it up into the chopper system and let the chopper system spread the chaff back out in the field. We use about 10 horsepower. We have a Case 940 that we've been, it's a New Holland CR 940 combine that we put it on. It's got a 32-foot head, and we use about 10 horsepower out of the engine. So this is kind of what you'd see, right? Here's a healthy seed. You can see this is pigweed seed up in A, up in the upper left-hand side. You know, it emits water, splits, shoots the reticle, and starts its growth pattern. But what we did is we damaged some of the cells in these. And so in C, you can see where it will embed water, these stop, and then they run. In D, some of them are just so damaged that the seed doesn't even embed the water. And then in B, you can see some of this where it tries to shoot a root, but it's damaged and it doesn't grow normally, and ultimately it doesn't even get it out of the dirt. So one thing we've had out with the different universities, we built like these little scale models. So here's we're showing this little 4-inch system here. This really helps us to engage the research community because we're in Ohio. This one at Louisiana State is doing rice chaff, and we don't so it really helps us with the different weed types and the different chaff types. And so what the universities can do is, inside they can feed it a scale or a smaller portion of the chaff, run it right through the machine, and then they can do efficacy studies on that. And so that's kind of where we sit with that. Our development status, we've tested this technique on soybean, wheat, rice chaff. You can see the different types of weed seeds that we've tested it against. With our one that we have on the machine, we've had this all flow tested and the efficacy testing through the machine. We have one on a 680 combine in Tennessee. We have one in our backyard, which is that New Holland unit. And we're working on 670 in Iowa. So we're in the stages where we're getting our units out into the field, and we have an equal fleet of benchtop units out at the different universities for them to test. And I don't know, we've generated a lot of interest in this product. I think the common theme here is on the back of the combine. If you look in the back, the sieves are very similar among the different manufacturers. So it makes it a little bit easier for us to put on a system that may be more universal, but just how we mount it, we pull off the power. And that's our product. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you, John.